Coming up, the results are in. Find out who is the newest addition to the Iowa City City Council.
And later, bug infestation. The emerald ash borer is in Iowa City. What residents can expect coming up.
We have more on the running backs' performance this week against NIU, and we'll hear from the football team as they prepare for the Cyhawk game.
You might be surprised how many more days of rain we'll be seeing. I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV.
Don't go anywhere. DITV starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Bo Bowman.
And I'm Kaylin Cluck. Iowa City held its city council election last night.
The election was held to fill a vacant seat left by Kingsley Botchway.
We have DITV News reporter Kenzie Cooper standing by in the studio with the results from last night's election. Mackenzie, what are the results?
Thanks, guys. That's right. The results from last night are in, and we have our two winners. Ann Ferriggs and Bruce Teague won the special primary election for City Council. Ferriggs received 26.9%, or 1,062 votes. Teague received 20.6%, or 815 votes. Ralston was just behind Teague at 20.2%, or 797 votes, and Willis received 18.1%, or 714 votes, and Hall received 14.1% and 558 votes. Roughly 9%, or 3,964 of Iowa City's 45,678 registered voters turned out for the election. If elected, Ferriggs plans to promote diversity on Iowa City, transportation for those with disabilities, and push for affordable housing. If elected, Teague plans to work towards affordable housing and more educational opportunities for small business owners. Travis Weipert, Johnson County Auditor, said the turnout for the primary election was not considered low. The general election will take place on October 2nd.
It has now been 2 weeks since the body of 20-year-old UI student Mollie Tibbets was discovered near her hometown of Brooklyn, Iowa. And
since that day, a national conversation surrounding immigration reform has become increasingly heated.
Daily Iowan reporter Sarah Watson is standing by in the newsroom with more on that debate. Sarah, how has Mollie's death impacted the immigration conversation?
Thanks, Bo. So it's really put it into the spotlight, and national media kind of converged on Iowa City and Brooklyn in these past 2 weeks. The first story was really this horrific tragedy of a young girl was murdered. And then there was a second story of politicians and the public reacting to the authorities reporting that that the suspect charged in her murder was an undocumented immigrant. And now there is this third story of the public and family members trying to redirect that conversation.
Has there been any negative response to the fact that her death has become so politicized?
Yes, well, some family members and members of the public have come out and said that we want to keep this about Mollie. And Rob Tibbets, Mollie's father, published a column in the Des Moines Register, really just making a plea for decency. He said that he didn't want people to appropriate Mollie's soul to forward views that she believed profoundly racist, to paraphrase what he said. And that was in response to a column published by Donald Trump Jr., which criticized the Democrats and the liberal media for not covering.
Sarah Watson live in the newsroom, thank you.
The UI has new plans for the old art building on campus. The university is hoping to convert the space into a new innovation center. The 53,000 square foot center would give students and faculty a space to learn through experiments. The center would cost an estimated $20 to $25 million, which will be funded by donations. The UI plans to present the proposal to the Iowa Board of Regents next week. For more on the proposal, check out Audit Tamby's story in the Daily Iowan.
The University of Iowa is tackling the problem of sexual assault on campus with a new class. The course is called Flip the Script. Its goal is to teach real methods of resistance while educating students about sexual assault in college. Organizers are hoping that students will learn the facts about sexual assault and not the stereotypes. Sarah Feldman from the Office of Sexual Misconduct Response Coordinator said, quote, "As women, we learn to fear being alone at night, but statistics show sexual assault is more likely in relationships with people we trust. If we only think of danger as something that jumps out of a bush holding a knife, we're missing the greater risk." Currently, the UI is one of only 2 schools in the country to offer this course and the only one to offer it for credit.
The Iowa Board of Regents is looking to boost support for in-state students this upcoming year. This would be a big change from the trend seen over the past few years. The Regents face cuts of more than $35 million from their budget in the last 2 years alone. Now they plan to request $628.42 million. That's a $20 million increase from last year. If funded, the Regents say the money will go back to help with financial aid for resident undergraduates.
Well, Kaylin, the last couple days have been pretty nice, but I'm not sure if we're going to get that here moving forward.
I know, it's supposed to be rainy, but it might be too hot for a raincoat still. Sam Ostwick is in the weather studio to tell us more.
Thanks, guys. Today's forecast is coming in strong with a 100% chance of thunderstorms, with the warmest temperature we'll be seeing all week at 74 degrees, with light winds and extreme humidity at 96%. Moving on to the evening, the overcast will stick around with a 70% chance of thunderstorms that may accumulate to over 1 inch of rainfall. Looking on to the 5-day forecast, Thursday will bring chilly temperatures at 68 degrees, so bring out those fall jackets, as the evening will only drop to a more breezy 57 degrees and a 51% chance of rain for the night. Friday will still be cloudy with only a slight chance of rain and temperatures in the high 60s and a low temperature at night around 57 degrees and high winds of 20 miles per hour. Jumping into the best part of the week, the weekend and Hawkeye football, but unfortunately it will be a cloudy day with a 30% chance of morning showers and temperatures almost in the 70s and dropping later in the day to 55 degrees. Then to end the weekend, Sunday will be partly cloudy with temperatures of 72 degrees, but thankfully there is no chance of rain predicted for that day. So let's go ahead and hope that next week brings nothing but sunshine. Have an amazing day, and back to you at the desk.
The emerald ash borer is threatening trees all over Iowa City. DITV News reporter Samantha Ostwick has more on what the city plans to do.
Iowa City is flourishing with trees, and no one in a community wants to see the loss of nature. But unfortunately, this is the reality for Iowa City. The emerald borer ash bug has been here since 2002 and is now making a devastating impact on the local trees. City Hall held a meeting to discuss the misinformation the public has perceived about the removal of the ash tree and the replanting of new trees. The Park and Recreation Department discussed how the ash trees, even here on campus in Gibson Square, have been killed by the bugs. They explained they only want to remove trees if they have been infected or pose a serious safety threat. One solution is to chemically treat these trees, as Julie Siddell explained.
I think it's more important to say what the council's plan of action is next, and that is to treat some high value ash trees in certain areas, and to continue our strategy of diversifying the tree canopy by taking out trees when they become hazards and replacing them with different species of trees.
Many citizens of Johnson County fear with the removal of the ash tree it will diminish the look of their neighborhoods. Also, there's been voiced opinion neighborhood value will lower and the city won't uphold its promise to plant new trees. A longtime resident of Iowa City spoke to me about her concern.
And I'm very much concerned because we have a lot of ash trees in our neighborhood. We have a lot of rental properties in our neighborhood that are supposed to have trees in there. They don't do it. So our neighborhood will be devastated by the loss of our ash trees.
City Council is yet to come up with a plan of action regarding the infected ash trees. From City Hall, I'm Samantha Ostwick for DITV News.
But Bo, the ash borer isn't the only thing threatening Iowa City. It's Cyhawk Week. How
That's
excited
right.
are you?
I'm pretty excited. I've got a couple friends coming in from Lames, and I'm hoping the Hawkeyes can back up some of the trash talk I've been dealing out there so far this week. Let's toss it over to John in the sports studio with more.
Yes, it's going to be a very exciting week in Iowa football, and hopefully the Hawks can dominate. Because a big reason for Iowa's dominating win over NIU was the over 200 rushing yard performance from the Iowa running backs. With more is Lucy Rodin.
Coming into the season, the biggest question for Iowa offensively were the running backs. But after the first game against NIU, the Hawks found 3 answers in Torin Young, Ivory Kelly Martin, and Mekhi Sargent.
Get a lot of different running backs out there that played today. And I think we all did some pretty good things. We all got things we got to work on, but it was fun. It was exciting.
But having these 3 players share snaps requires unselfish football.
I'm happy for those other guys, and I'm just glad to be a part of this team.
I've been fortunate. We got unselfish guys, and I think they understand we're going to do the best thing for the team. That's kind of our jobs as coaches. And I think it's kind of what I see with these 3 guys. They're all really, really good guys, and I'm thrilled they're on the team.
You never know when you're going to be able to get your opportunity, and all 3 of them made the most of it today. I think they all 3 ran extremely hard when they had the opportunities, and they knew that, maybe I'm not going to be in for 4 plays in a row, so why not go as hard as I can this play, and that's exactly what they did.
And their efforts showed against NIU, racking up over 200 rushing yards against the Huskies. But it is possible that against Iowa State, the Hawks will have to rely solely on Young and Sargent, as Kelly Martin is listed as questionable. Reporting from Kinnick Stadium, this has been Lucy Rodine for DITV Sports.
I'm really hoping Ivory Kelly Martin is ready to go this weekend, because Iowa will definitely need him against that tough and physical state defense. But speaking of Iowa State, we are just a few days away from the annual Cyhawk game, and I know I'm really excited to see who takes home the Cyhawk trophy, but probably not as excited as the players are. Here's what they had to say about this weekend's upcoming rivalry game.
For a lot of guys from Iowa, I think it's a big deal. You always hear about each school, and you hear about the rivalry a lot. So I think it's going to be an intense game, and I think it means a lot to both programs.
Obviously being from Iowa, you know the significance. Growing up, everyone's placing bets at school, everyone's trash talking the week after. So every single year you grow up watching this game, hoping you can play in it. And I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity. It's been a lot of fun, and I certainly can't wait to get out there Saturday and do it for a final time.
It's certainly a special game for everybody involved. I think nothing new there. It's a great rivalry, certainly, and one we're really excited about being part of. And I think it's not only exciting for our players, for our coaches, for alums, fans in the state, but people across the country. It's just it's a really great thing for everybody, I think. So.
For more on Iowa football's media availability yesterday, visit daily-iowan.com. That's it from us here in the sports studio, but be sure to tune in tomorrow to hear from pregame editor Adam Hensley on what to expect for Iowa football's game this weekend against Iowa State, and to learn about some international athletes on the field hockey team. Bo and Kaylin, back to you.
Dorothy slippers are officially back where they belong this morning.
That's right, Kaylin. After being gone for more than 13 years, the FBI was able to finally track down the missing shoes.
The slippers were worn by Dorothy in the original film, The Wizard of Oz. They went missing from a Minnesota museum back in 2005, but thanks to a sting operation, the slippers are back where they belong.
Kaylee, can you believe those shoes were insured for almost $1 million?
Definitely.
Well, that's all we have for you on this Wednesday morning edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to head over to daily-iowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday.
And if that isn't enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out the print edition of the news on stands now.
For DITV News, I'm Bo Bowman.
And I'm Kaylin Cluck. Have a great day, Iowa City, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning.
Same time, same place.